right, folks, we have got some folks coming out, some special guests. They're going to be sitting in the prime seats, so if you roll in here late, you get the not-so-prime seats. But seriously, thanks for watching. If you are watching, appreciate your time in supporting Blazing Edge Studios and what we're doing here. This will be the first of several. We're going to be doing these regularly throughout the time that we are open. So come on out, grab a seat, and we'll go ahead and get started. So feel free. We are live on Facebook. We've got some folks that are filtering out of the house at the moment, and we'll have questions, and people are looking over at the stuff that we've got on the table here for display. We'll roll through that here with the smaller audience. We'll be able to pick up the thing and roll through it. So grab a seat. You're right in the middle of the Facebook live stream, so everybody seeing you back, which is probably Lauren, Tyler, and maybe Aunt Millie. So. Wherever you want to sit. We're going to start with our drawing here in a minute. So. At this point, I'm rolling. We don't know if anybody else is going to show up, and so we appreciate everybody who's watching. We appreciate the folks that are thinking about coming and haven't shown up yet, but that's okay. We're just going to get rolling. And we wait, and let me just go with my show here. We don't comment from the peanut gallery. Remember, we are live on Facebook, so no cursing. This is a family show. Keep it G, please. Just give it another minute for a couple people to come out, and then we'll do the drawing. So these are mostly my family members here. Well, it's all my family members here. No, Tyler's not coming down. Tyler may be watching on the Facebook live stream. I think Lauren is watching on the Facebook live stream, unless she's got some stuff going on. So for those of you who are watching and aren't members of the family who don't know Lauren, Lauren is my part-time social media coordinator and full-time daughter. She is working today and unable to join us on the live stream. So, or unable to join us live, she'll be on the live stream. So we've got people who are apparently going to go flag cars down the street, which is great. All right, well, we're going to start the drawing. Let's see. Which one do you get? You get number one. You're going to get a lovely set of coasters. Which means that the Matthews family get the glasses and the cutting board. So here we go. You are 2 and 3. Which one do you want? 2. You're a cutting board. And Kim, you get number 3. You're going to get the glasses. So, all right. So the drawing is done. We're going to start off with a little bit about lasering basics. So this is a WeCreate 40-watt Vision laser. It's a blue diode laser. They have 4 flavors of this now. They've got a 45-watt one that just came out. They've got a 20-watt one and a 10-watt one. The difference in power really just controls how much you can cut, what you can cut. With this laser, I can cut materials that are up to just over a ½ inch thick, 15 millimeters. So that means I can go through wood that's about that thick. Most of what we have on the table here is wood that's 3 millimeters. Some of it is 6 millimeters because it's a little bit thicker. So that's what we do with that. And that's in one pass. If I wanted to do 2 passes, I could cut thicker materials with this. It can cut, it can engrave, it can etch. It does it all on paper, wood, glass, metal, foods. Stay tuned. We're going to have a little bit of Does It Laser demo here, so that's going to be fun for those of you that are watching. And then I've got over here, I've got a pass-through feeder, which sits underneath the laser when I want to do big materials. So if I want to get up to 137 inches of space on a big board, for example, I can stick this laser right on top of it and pass through materials right through it. When we do that, we shift everything out a little bit so that it doesn't bump into the air filter, which is over here. That's what this little device is. It's an air filter. It keeps the smoke and other stuff, fumes from things that may be toxic as we're engraving out of the air. So it gets a little bit smoky if you don't, so that's why we've got it on. Questions? Any questions? We've got time, so. I have tried some metal things. The metal works best with what we have is a infrared laser that comes with it. It's actually another laser unit. I'm going to do this, and I'll show you what it looks like inside. So inside here, we've got, this is the laser unit right here. And so there's another laser unit over here, which is a 2-watt infrared laser. So it gives me fine detail work on metal. So I can do things like tin, I can do really fine engraving, pictures, things like that. I mentioned before they've got other flavors. They've got a new flavor of laser. It just came out that I'm actually lusting over. It's a 3-watt infrared laser that's portable. It's about, so big, and you can carry it around with a handle. So hopefully we get one of those, maybe used for craft shows and things like that. So you can cut paper, you can even engrave paper. If you use really low power, you can mark on craft paper. I used it to do a stencil for Madeline for the birthday party, and ended up writing. She didn't have it taped down tight enough. That's okay. But you could do stencils of all kinds and put them on there. So really kind of cool stuff there. So let me shut off this. If I can find it. Here we are. Stop here. All right. Close this, and we will get ready for our. What's that? I have tried glass. Matter of fact, I have one right here. This has my logo, Blazing Edge Studios, on it. And in just a little while, Kim is going to be the proud owner of 4 glasses that look like this. They'll have an M on it with a lovely little design around it. All right, so we're going to get into our first engraving demonstration. We're going to put your name on a coaster. So you are the lovely winner of the coasters here, bud. So we are going to roll over to that for a second. This is mirroring my computer inside. This is the We Create software. It basically lets me control what I want and where I want to put it. There's a few things on here that are interesting. It gives you a selection for materials. There's a lot that are already pre-built in here. Different types of wood, leather, different types of plastic. You can engrave on fabrics. So if you wanted to do denim, for example, and you wanted to engrave a name on the denim, it won't burn through it. It'll just put a name on it, or a design, or an etching, or things like that. As I said, there's metal. You had asked about that. This one will do aluminum pretty easily, but if it's too powered, it'll bend and crimp the aluminum if it's a thin enough piece of aluminum. So we don't like that very much. Stone and ceramic. I've done some slate before, which is really cool. It etches right into the slate, and you can see a white line where it was. You can vary the power and get different colors on a slate, so I've seen that happen. You can also use different paint colors. You can paint a piece of stone with, like, say, for example, you wanted to paint something that had red and blue on it. You can vary the different layers of it. Then you could have first layer is red, second layer is blue, third layer is black, fourth layer is white. So you can do all kinds of stuff like that. So we're going to close out of that. When you do that, you select the size of the material, 3 millimeter. What's cool about this laser that a lot of lasers don't have, there's lots of them out there. Glowforge is a pretty cool machine, and X-Tool's got a really cool machine. This is an enclosed laser. It's got an auto-focusing camera on it. So when I've got material in here, I just come up to this and click on autofocus, and you can see it's going to start spinning. Up here, the laser is actually going and seeing, okay, how thick is this material that I'm working on? And now it's going to descend down to where it needs to be in order to engrave it. And it failed because it doesn't see the material, which is interesting. Okay, well, this is our first speed bump. Not a problem. Sometimes that happens. And when that does happen, we come in here, add a little piece of tape. Hopefully that helps it see it. And do autofocus again. And now it's descending. It should focus right on that. Yeah, that's because it's autofocusing. It's got a sensor in it that says, okay, where is the material that I'm about to start engraving? So, okay, cool. This will actually engrave right through the tape that I marked on there. So this is what it's going to look like, except it's not going to say the Smiths. We're going to change it to say Bud. We're going to center that. I have. I've got a couple of examples here. So basswood is very, very soft, which is good for engraving. It's not as good for things like coasters and stuff like that. So what I'm about to do, this is acacia wood. This is poplar, and so it gets you. You've got to use more power to get a line, but you can get a nice feel on it. So here I'll pass that around. You can kind of feel the engraving on that. So I am just going to copy Bud across to our pieces. That one and get rid of that one, and then we're going to paste it over here. And so you can see it's really drag and drop. It's what you see is what you get, WYSIWYG, just like everybody's used to. It's really a cool little function, cool little piece of software that they give us. And that looks about. This is you can see it actually looked at it. It said it's 9 millimeters, so you can see now it's actually 3 millimeters. But what it's saying is it's 9 millimeters from the bottom. It's a crumb tray down here, and it focuses to say, oh, okay, I know where the crumb tray is. I know where the grates are. So this way it knows exactly how far to come down, so it doesn't bump on anything and ruin the laser. So this says, keep your sticky stuff here, please, with a cactus on it. It's a royal cactus because it's sticky, and it's signed Bud. So we're going to go ahead and start this laser engraving. And here it's just going to show me a preview of it. It can say, okay, yep, do I want it there? And I can say, no, actually I don't want it there because it's off-centered. So I'm just going to do a quick select all and move it over. Keyboard control. And there you have it, just about. There we go. Bring it down a little further. There we are. All right, now we're going to start again. I don't have to autofocus again. Nothing has changed about the laser. And so now we are going to send. It's going to take, it says here, 8 minutes and 8 seconds to do it. Once I hit send, the green button turns blue. I push it, and we start. So let me get this set up again so you can see what's going on. You can see the laser is going back and forth. In a little bit here, you'll start to see the image appear on the wood. Right now, it's actually cutting through a part of the tape, but you can see the flash. So right now, it's getting the very tips of the letters. So now you're going to start to see it appearing up here. I'm pointing to the wrong screen. You can see it starting to appear up here, right there. So that's what's happening. So it's going to take a few minutes to do this. So this will take about 8 minutes. It's what's called a fill engrave. And so what that does versus a line engrave is really fast, right? It's a single line. It goes and it does it really, really quickly. A fill engrave actually fills in the lines of darkness. So that's how you get that image that's a little bit darker. So that's how we do that with the laser. So it takes a few minutes to do it, but as you can see, I can do batches of materials. So here I can fit 4 coasters. I could probably fit, at least another 4 coasters in there. I could fit 8 coasters in there probably and run in one batch. The coasters are going to come, by the way, in a lovely box branded with the Blazing Edge Studios logo. For those of you that are following at home, here we are. So this box, by the way, I made this yesterday. There are lots of websites out there where you can get free or mostly free patterns. There's one that's called Box Maker. It's free. You say how big you want your dimensions of the box to be, and it spits out a pattern, including these finger joints that hold it all together. So it gives you 5 sides, or however many you have. You can do any shape box. You want to do a circle box, it'll give you a circle. If you want to do a triangle box, it'll give you a triangle. If you want a cover, it'll give you a cover too. So you can do all that sort of stuff on there. I also use a site called Creative Fabrica, which it's got a membership, an annual membership. It's about $40, but it gives me access to, I don't know, 50 or 60,000 different patterns for laser cutting. A lot of what you see on the table over here, I got off of that site. So like this cross, for example, that everybody's kind of going gaga over on Facebook. This box here, this shadow box, I did that. It came from Creative Fabrica. This guy, this is kind of cool. This is our advent calendar, and you can kind of spin him around. Oh, he's stuck. He got stuck somehow. Not sure why he got stuck. Well, this is supposed to spin around. And folks, this is why you check your demos before you start a Facebook Live and a demonstration in your open studio. But this does spin. I'm not entirely sure why it got stuck, but maybe the glue set, and yeah, there you go. That could happen. So life happens, right? This is why we don't do live demos, but it's good stuff. So other questions while we're waiting for this to burn through? So the color is actually colored wood. I can buy different flavors of colored wood. So, for example, here's a piece of yellow board. Comes in all kinds of different colors. It's pre-finished. It's finished on both sides. So it makes it a lot easier to do it. I can paint it. I do have an airbrush kit. So, for example, on this piece here, this is hand-painted before I got the airbrush. So I just painted it with a brush and paints. Then you glue and assemble it all together. But the airbrush makes it a little bit easier. By far, the best way is to use the colored wood. Not always available in the colors you want, though, right? So, like this, I would have to paint because I don't think I've seen a purple. I know I've seen green, but it's not quite the right green. So, here's a puzzle, by the way, for those that are watching at home. We do make these puzzles. They go for about $25, depending on the complexity of it. Can I do what? If the short answer is maybe. So if you want to do the Suns logo, if it was going through official channels, probably not without a license or without a licensed pattern. Now, there are patterns out there for some teams. They have license. I've seen a few. I've seen the Steelers, actually, where you can buy a licensed pattern. It's pricey. And so for our customers, if they wanted to do something with the Suns, or if they wanted to do something with, I don't know, maybe the Packers, something like that, it would probably be pretty pricey to just for the pattern. And what we do is we just pass the cost on, right? We're not going to charge you an upsell for a pattern. But it's the effort and time of setting up the laser and going through all of this stuff that, so you can see it's. So, because I did the cactus as a line drawing, and so it does all the fill drawings first, and then it comes back and does the lines. So, trying to find a good position for this so you can see what's going on, but you can kind of see what that looks like there. So, when this is done, it'll come back and it'll do the cactuses, really quick. You'll see that it'll be a lot faster. I don't know. Are there any Facebook questions? I haven't seen there's any comments on the Facebook stream, so let's take a look. Hey, Facebook folks. We've got a couple folks. Jeff Pinkerton is asking, I have a We Create 40-watt laser. Brand new machine just came out as a 45-watt. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit more powerful. I believe that can cut up to 1-inch materials. The one I have can cut up to 0.60 inches, aka 15 millimeters. Great question, Jeff. Thanks for watching, by the way. Abby Elliott has a question. The humidity made the advent calendar stick. You know, that's a good point. I'll bet you're right. The humidity and the heat here in the garage has probably made the glue melt a little bit and made the advent calendar stick. That's something I'm going to have to take into account for the next time I build one. Make something that's maybe a little bit more heat resistant with the glue. Great question, Abby, and great comment. Thanks for watching. I've got at least 2 people live here. This is great. 3. I know Lauren is watching, my full-time daughter and part-time social media coordinator. So fantastic stuff. If you guys are thirsty or hungry, we've got some stuff, some snacks over here. But we're almost done with this set of cutting over here. Let's see where we at. We are just about at the bottom of the buds. Yep, we will definitely do that in a second. So it's about 95 degrees outside here for those of you who don't live here in the Valley of the Sweat. It's not as humid as it could be in places like Oklahoma, to name one. And now you can see the laser is starting to go through and doing the cutting of the cactus. I'll turn it like this. You see it's a lot faster doing a line cut. This does a kind of a smart algorithm. It figures out exactly the easiest and fastest way to cut the laser. So it says, okay, I have this image and this text, and this is what it's going to take me to do it. So, see the end result of that cactus right there. Yep. You can apply like a poly on it. For things that are food grade, like the cutting board we're going to do in a little bit, we use mineral oil, so it's a food grade mineral oil. That way you don't get any any of the toxins that might come out of it. The cutting board that we use is a bamboo cutting board, so that's pretty standard. You don't really have to treat it, but it's always good to treat it to keep it safe, keep it moist and not dried and cracked. So. And we are moving along onto the last cactus now. Shut the screen mirroring off. So this is giving me a progress. It's telling me exactly how far along it's come. It's almost done now. Now that it's done, it's going to raise up. Laser pushes back, and there you go. Bob's your uncle. And, no, not at all. Not at all. Show you on the, yep. So there you go. That's what it looks like when it's all said and done. We also have our logo on the back, of course. So we are going to put. I will sell a set of 4 coasters for $22. With the box, I'll add $2 to that, so $24. Yeah, and there you are. Your set of coasters, sir. All right. It's designed to fit 4, so there's a little bit of room. But I can make it. If I get 6, I'll make it. So, oh yeah, just take the tape off. So, there you go. All right. So let's go back to our presentation for a second. All right, so stuff. That's what we're talking about here. Look over here. So this is, what's that? Yeah, so I'm going to grab the camera here. This is a little bit off script. So watch the bounce. Okay, here's our family that are looking over. Here's all the stuff that we do. We've been working pretty much nonstop for the last week or so. I'm going to start with some of the youth sports awards that we do. These all can be customized with your name. So some of these I've used. I don't know anybody who plays soccer, so I use Messi. I've got some basketball awards. Cooper Flags number 32, Caitlin Clark number 22. Volleyball, I didn't know any numbers or anything like that. Down here, we've got a lot of more interesting stuff. We've got some fall decor that's starting to come out. We've got some Christmas decor that's starting to come out. Here's some more sports awards. This is with a pitcher doing the same thing. Some other stuff we can do. Here's some wood burning. I think you can see this. This is some wood burning of my dogs, Emmy and Ellie, on some plaques, some pieces of wood. This is a nativity cross that people have kind of gone crazy over on the internet. It's not exactly viral, but it's there. Gift of wine is a cool wine box you can get if you give some wine out to your friends for Christmas. That's what we do there. That's some other stuff that we do. Talked about the glass, which we're going to do here in a minute. So let's put this back in roughly the same spot that it was. Let's see, check my X. Yeah, close enough. All right. So what else can we do? We do weddings. We've got a whole line of wedding stuff. So everything from signs to table centerpieces wedding favors, exactly. Groomsmen gifts, bridesmaids gifts. For groomsmen, I've had a lot of interest in flasks. So metal flasks with the date and on it. Obviously, champagne flutes are a big thing with the bride and groom, or Mr. and Mrs., or all these sorts of things with the date on it. So, and shout out to cousin AJ up in Colorado Springs area with Celebrity DJ, giving me a lot of advice on how to get into that market in the weddings market. Best DJ in Colorado, probably the best DJ in the Southwest if I'm honest. So, if you're in Colorado and you need a DJ, pick up on AJ. Celebrity DJs. Seasonal stuff, we talked about the seasonal stuff. So here's a lantern. This is a votive lantern. You open it up and you stick your votive candle in there and drop the cover. Again, this is why we don't do live demos, folks. You put a votive candle in there, not a real votive candle. That will burn. Don't do that. You don't want to set your house on fire. All right. So now we are going to do the personalized cutting board engraving. Was there a question? Okay. All right. So let's go back to our We Create. There it is. All right. So this is welcome to our kitchen. Ungroup that for a second, and we're going to change the text so it says the Matthews. So I'm going to make that a little bit smaller now because you can see it cuts into the image a little bit. So we will make that text, instead of 40 points, we'll make it 36 points. So the curve you see in there, you'll see there's a kind of a little arc. That's just a guideline. That's done in the software. If I say I want to put it on an arc, I can do that very easily. So let me show you what it looks like. If I click this curve, it shows up and it says, okay, here's what, right now it's at negative 47.4. Remember that. I can flip it the other way. So I'll remember negative 47.4 so I don't mess it up. But if I went the other way, there you go. So I could do it exactly the other way. Like that. This kind of matches the flowers and everything else, makes it symmetrical. That's why I like it that way. All right, so we're going to take our cutting board. This is a bamboo cutting board. I get them in bulk from a place called Maker Flow at a pretty decent price. I get them in a big case. You can see it's a pretty substantial cutting board. It's about 9 by 12, 8.5 by 11.5 roughly. This can do materials 14.1 inches up to just under 20 inches without the pass-through engraver. So we're going to put this in here. I've got some spacers that I'm going to take out, so I don't need them for this. I'm just going to drop this. I can cut a groove if I do multiple passes in high power and slower. The slower I go, the deeper it's going to cut. So, but yeah, I can absolutely do that. I am going to use a small spacer just to make sure that I am square. And now I'm square. Close this. Just like we did before, we're going to do an autofocus. And now it's going to do its thing. It's going to go down. Now it's going to figure out exactly where that cutting board is. You'll notice I didn't make any changes to the 3mm material. That's more, the important part about that is the guideline of how thick you're using it for this. So as you can control the power and the speed and do whatever you want to do with it. So for most engravings, frankly, I just keep it at 3mm. If I'm cutting 6mm, I'll use the preset because it's super easy that way. I know exactly how powerful the laser has to be to cut through 6mm. Looks like we've got it pretty darn close to centered here. Maybe move it over a little bit this way. It's just going to be because that is a different type of engraving. So if I look over here, you see this is over here on the right side. It says line engraved. So that whole image is going to be a line engraved, and that's why it's black. If I do this, it tells me that's a fill engraved. If I wanted to cut it, I would change that to cut, and it would turn it red. So it tells you exactly what. So you can see visually what is going on your board. It's a good question. Some of the software is cool. If I just wanted to do a quick cut on the image, I could just ignore the math used for processing, and then it kind of grays it out. You can see that graded out, and so now it won't. That wouldn't actually process when I went to do it. So, good question. All right, so we've got ourselves. We are autofocused. We're going to do a start. Let's see. It tells me this is also going to take about 8 minutes. And so now we're going to spend some time while we babble on and send this over here and push the blue button. And so now it's going to do the same thing. It's going to start doing the engraving. The welcome to our kitchen is also a fill engrave. It's built in with the element of the line, which is why it's the same color. I didn't ungroup it. But that's why it's the same color on that. And kind of see what's going on there. See if we have anything else going on Facebook Live. Well, let's see. Lauren is still watching. Outstanding. There we go. Do we have any other questions here? All right. This is cool stuff. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. Caitlin, if you're still there, thanks for watching. For the wine box. So the box I buy these in bulk. And so my cost is what my cost is, and then the engraving time is. So I will charge $25 for that box because it's an image that I've already got. I don't have to do anything difficult for it. If there was something that somebody wanted something custom, it would be more because there'd be more of my time to create this. Speaking of creating stuff. Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple of pieces to it, right? There's this design piece, right? And this is custom. I created this myself. Well, I created this myself with the help of my friend ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a really good use for creating images like this. The prompts are particular, but you need to be careful about what you prompt it. You say things like, well, give me an image of a wine bottle. It's going to show you a picture of a wine bottle, which is not helpful for engraving. So you ask for a very specific image. So in this case, I asked it for a line image, Art Deco style, of a wine bottle in a vineyard sitting on a stone fence. And that's what it created for me. It created a lot of extra stuff in the background, so I asked it to remove that, and that's what I ended up with the image. And then the text is, that's pretty easy to customize, as I just showed you. So the gift of wine was just something I put in there simply. But you could say anything, Merry Christmas, love, Rob. Yeah. I mean, it would take me 15 seconds to do the text, right? So if it was something particular where it's like, well, I want this text here and this text over here, and I want this text to do a loop-de-loop, then I'm going to charge a little bit of extra for that. So all of this, by the way, is available. Well, some of it's available on our website today at blazingedgestudios.com. Also on our Etsy store. Etsy is the crafter's choice for marketplace, and the studio there is called Blazing Edge Studios as well. All the stuff will be on there at the end of this weekend, I hope. I've got a lot of pictures to do and posts to make on Etsy. But you'll be able to buy all of this stuff on there, including the customizations. So there'll be a field both on blazingedgestudios.com and on Etsy. If there's a product that's customized, like, for example, this over here, if I wanted to customize this, the way I do it is I put the player's number and their name on the top here. So it looks like it's on their shoulders, and so you would just enter that into the customization field. It's similar, but it's not. It's not the Major League Baseball. This again was my friend ChatGPT helped me make this silhouette. I also use a program called Inkscape. It's a free program available on all platforms for editing what's called SVG files. They're basically vector graphics, which means it's a fancy word of saying it's lines. It's a path, so it's one single line in the computer, which makes it easier to cut this. Otherwise, it would be engraved, and I don't want to engrave it. I want to cut it. This is available for $35 on the website and on Etsy, customized with the player's name and logo, by the way. Okay, so now it's going to work on the Matthews part of the cutting board. Change the positioning just a little bit so you can maybe see a little better. That's not great. So, in the fall, we'll do another open studio, which will capture some more folks. Oh, we are going to start doing craft shows. We've applied to be at the Gilbert Farmers Market. That's a very competitive space. As soon as the space comes open, we'll get there. We're going to do the Scottsdale Parks and Recreation annual craft show in November. Application is open for that next week, but I expect that I'll be able to get into that. So we'll do that show in November. And then there's a couple other shows that we've applied to. There are a couple of boutiques here in the valley that, frankly, we're just not ready for. Where you can go and actually have a space there for all of your goods. I've got a lot of goods, but I don't have a space created yet. And what a lot of these makers do is they make this look like their own studio inside of the boutique. So we're not quite there yet. This is still part-time. For those of you that are watching, who happen to be part of my real job, my day job. This is just my sidelight. In real life, I'm a program manager for a technology company called Echo, and some of my friends, Facebook friends, are on at Echo as well. So for those of you watching, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving you in a lurch. Dave Holliday, this is for you. Nikki Marsh, this is for you. Lisa Parrott, this is for you. But no. So this is what we do. It's going to finish up the Matthews here in a second. You can start to see that. We do. We do branded merchandise for companies. We've reached out to a number of real estate agents that give this out as closing gifts. Cutting boards are particularly popular. So we've got a number of customers that do that. But yeah, we can do branded merchandise on water bottles. That's a big seller for this sort of space. We haven't sold any yet, but we've got access to big hydro flasks, tumblers. We did do a custom engraving for a customer who already had bought a tumbler, a U.S. Navy tumbler, and they wanted to add their father-in-law's name and date of service under the logo for the U.S. Navy. So we did that. To do that, we have a rotary tool that gets attached to it. We're not going to use it today for the glasses because it's not necessary. But if I were to do a full wrap on something, like let's say I had a hydro flask and I wanted to do something that went all the way around the hydro flask, this sits in the box here. You mount the item onto here. It fits on the inside. You tighten it up, and then it spins. And the software tells it, oh, okay, I need to spin here at this speed, or I need to go back here, or I need to do this to engrave whatever the image is. And it keeps the proportions right. It keeps everything looking proper, so there's no distortion or anything like that with being on a curve. With something small like this, it's a relatively small area. There's no difference required, so I'm just going to do it flat, just to make it a little bit easier. So, good questions. Was that, you got a question? You couldn't remember it? All right, this is just about ready to start doing the line engraving. You see, it's just finishing up. Oh yeah, yeah. Keychains is a big thing. Really popular. I mean, really, it can go as small. The smallest thing that we've done at this point is a tag for hiking sticks. So this is a customer right down the street. Yeah, I did make those. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I made those numbers. But yeah, it's a dog tag. They're using it as a hiking stick tag. For those of you that are watching at home, this was a custom design, by the way. She needed 18 of these, and so we engraved it onto the metal here. Using that darkening stuff that I showed on the glass. If you do it just on silver, it's just going to bounce back, right? The laser goes, okay, ding, and it bounces back and doesn't do anything. So that's why we paint it with some blackening material. To do that, and I'll show you it a little bit here, I just use basic washable paint. It just allows the laser heat to be captured. What's that? This is a brush. I use a brush for this. I also have a spray-on laser darkener, which is right here, laser black, and you spray this onto whatever you're engraving. This is really good on metal, so you can grab this at Amazon, you spray it on, and then you drop your laser tag. You see, we are. Everything that I am showing here will be on the website. About 25% of them are on there right now. But these will. Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that we're going to be doing is adding a link to Creative Fabrica to allow people to kind of browse through the images, patterns, and things like that. If they have something sort of in mind, I want to do a cutting board that has a football logo on it. They can go through and look at it and say, I want to do this pattern. And then we'll buy the pattern. We get it for free because we pay the monthly or the annual fee, and then we'll engrave it. That's where all these came from. All these up here, the messy, these are all customized. So. Yep, drilling tools, absolutely. We've got a set that we've done the box on. We have not done the inside on yet. But this has got everything that you need. And I can do it on all of these, yeah. So for the folks that are looking at home, we just did this. This is pretty pricey. This goes for about $90 online. It's a good kit. So what's that? It is unique, yeah. It's really good. This is bamboo. What's that? Yeah, yeah. So I did this. Full disclosure, I missed centering the grill master, so I added dad afterwards. I went, oops. So, so improvise, adapt, overcome, right? You do some weird things too. So some of you on Facebook Live, all of you here, know that I am also a children's book author. I've authored a book called Fiona and the Lost Sheep, and just for giggles, I wanted to see what it looked like if I put a page onto a piece of wood. And so here you go. I took a page of it and put it on a piece of wood. So there you are. We are talking about doing a metal version of the book and selling it on the Fiona and the Lost Sheep website. That's something that's in progress. Coming maybe not so soon, but coming eventually. How about that? So you can see we are in the middle of engraving the sunflowers now on that board. We're through the Matthews. We're through the welcome to our kitchen. And we are just about done with that. Thank you for keeping the questions coming. I get a lot of stuff delivered by Amazon. Absolutely, Amazon's my friend. Most of my materials come from either Amazon or from MakerFlow. MakerFlow's got a store here in the valley, down in Chandler. So I get a lot of stuff from them.
How would I get my materials if I order something? Is it through Amazon or?
If I ship, I'll ship it direct. So yeah, if you were to order, this for example, if you were to order this award, it will go on a padded envelope and through U.S. mail. Shipping on something like this is about $4. Locally here in the East Valley, I do provide free delivery or pickup. So no need for shipping on that. And that's all done on the website, by the way. If you go to the website or the Etsy store and you happen to live in the East Valley, you won't get charged for shipping or for delivery. So, and we are now done with the cutting board. And congratulations, you are now the proud owner of a cutting board. Taking a short to the people online real quick. Yeah, we'll put some mineral oil on it before you leave. Mineral oil, yeah, you want to do it somewhat periodically. Yeah, just food grade mineral oil. A lot of people, frankly, almost nobody actually cuts on these, right? They use them as decorations. So if you're just using it as a decoration, once it's treated, you can absolutely flip it over and cut it. This also works as a charcuterie board, right?
Well, that's what I was
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
It'd be nice, like cheese and crackers.
Yep, exactly, exactly. All right, let's see. All right. Now it is time for everybody's favorite game show, Does It Laser? My lovely assistant is going to retrieve our mystery laser material. So this is a fun game show. We're thinking about turning it into a series, actually, on the website, on Instagram, where we do a Does It Laser weekly, or maybe more frequently than that. I just need to actually figure out if some of these things do laser because I don't want to ruin my machine. This, by the way, costs about $2,500 for the whole set of stuff that I was showing you today. So we're going to keep this one hidden from you. You're not going to know what it is that we're trying to laser until after it's done. Put a piece of wood down just to keep it. Oh, same thing. I just call it Does It Laser because I wanted to turn the laser into a verb. So, Yeesh. Let's not fall over here. You're actually going to see it on the screen here in a second, but that's okay. We're going to do an autofocus. And we're going to see what it is that we're going to be trying to see if it lasers. For those of you playing along at home, if you're going to guess, you can put your guesses into Facebook Live here and tell me if you think it's going to laser. Jeff Pinkerton, thank you for letting me know about the prices going up last week. Didn't mention it. So, but yep, there it is. So we are going to find out if rye bread lasers. So here we go. But Jeff, I appreciate that update on the shipping prices. Good stuff. That is a slice of rye bread in there. Oral wheat rye bread, to be exact. And we're just going to stick our logo on there because, you know, we like to have our logo on everything. We're going to send it to the laser. All right. We'll know in about 2 minutes if it's going to laser. So if you're on Facebook Live, thank you for staying with us. We've been on for about an hour, so great stuff. Appreciate everybody who is watching us live throughout the country, throughout the valley. Like I said, we do ship everywhere in the country. We do not yet ship internationally except to Canada. So no overseas shipping yet. It will be coming at some point, I suspect. Of course, everything is negotiable, but it's extremely expensive to ship stuff overseas. So, and no, I'm not showing you on the screen if it lasers. You have to guess. Let's see. We're about 25% of the way through. I don't know. Maybe it's going to laser. Maybe it's not. Let's see. Jeff Pinkerton, your guess is yes. Julie Munoz, thanks for joining. Your guess is yes. Abby Elliott, can you turn a photo into a customized piece? Absolutely. We can put it on any kind of material. We can put it on wood. We can put it on metal. We can put it on acrylic, actually, which is really cool. You may have seen some of these things where you've got the backlit sort of night light stands. We can get those lights off of MakerFlow or Amazon and then use them as the base for a customized piece with a photo that's etched into the acrylic. So great question on that. All right, we're halfway through. What was the question? You absolutely could. You can mark your sandwich name, but only this sandwich is yours. So some of the stuff that we're thinking about lasering to see if it lasers, because we know it will, frankly. Marshmallows, we know that marshmallows will laser, but not too hot, because otherwise they'll blow up and make a mess. Bananas, believe it or not, bananas laser. Oranges laser. They've got the thick skin, so you can actually burn into it. So we will see the thing that will laser. My full-time daughter and part-time social media coordinator, Lauren, asked me if I could laser an ice cube. And I said I really have no idea if that would work or not. So we're going to figure out a way to try that so that we don't break the laser. Getting through here. Getting pretty close. What was the question? Yeah, is heat involved with lasering? Of course there's heat involved. That's how it works. Well, if it's cold enough, you might be able to etch an image into it. I don't know. We're going to try it, though, and see. All right. Thanks again to everybody who is joining us on Facebook Live. This is fun. We're almost there. What's that? Is it toast? The very first thing I tried to laser that was food actually was a cracker because I wanted to see if it would work. So I took a cracker after some party or other we had, and I put it in there, and I just had the word cheese, please, and put that on the cracker, and it worked. And then you can eat the cracker. So that was kind of fun. All right, here comes the moment of truth. Drum roll, please. Ta-da! Yes! Yes, it does laser. There you go. And does it taste good? It tastes like marshmallows, actually. Burnt marshmallows. So there you go. So yes, it does laser. All right. Here's our last demo. We're going to do some pint glasses today. So we're going to do one for the demo, but we're going to produce four. So we'll get four of them out of there. So this is just a really simple silicone holder that helps prop things up. I saw this trick on a We Create Laser user group. So it lets me put a piece of glass, a round thing, you can see it's got curves here, into the laser and keep it straight so that it doesn't move and it keeps it nice and solid. So we're going to put this into the middle of the laser. We're going to get the glass. So I did these yesterday. It just needs to dry. It only takes, in this weather, it takes half an hour to dry. Just paint it on, or spray it on if you have the laser black. Spray it on here, and it'll go on the glass. I'll set that in there. Now I know that this is not quite level at that point, so I've got a little spacer that I'm going to stick in there as well. And my level is just here. That's pretty close. Yes, measure once, cuts twice. Yeah. So for those of you playing along at home, the audience is pointing out to a sign that I have over my workbench that says measure once, cuts twice. Those of you that are home improvement project people, you know what that means. So, yeah. So don't do that. Always measure twice. It's smart. All right, we've got our glass in place. We've got our image. We're going to change this to an M. Oh, that's big. Make that a little smaller then. I can. Yeah, absolutely. Let's knock it down a little bit first. That's just a ChatGPT image. It took me 5 minutes to generate it. I asked ChatGPT to give me something that looks vaguely European that would fit around a monogram. That was literally my prompt. Give me something that would work to go, a frame that would go around a monogram that looks vaguely European. And that's what it came up with. So, yep. So we're going to do an autofocus now on this. I fully expect that we're going to have to shrink this down. Yeah, that's too far. That didn't work. That went too far. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, well, this is why we don't do live demos, folks. That went too far down. So, we're going to have to test this with a piece of wood just to make sure we haven't damaged our laser. This is why we do demos, folks. Should have used the rotary tool. Let's do an autofocus. I'm just going to make sure I didn't damage the laser with that. Because what happened is it came down, and it came down too far, and it hit the glass. It didn't focus where I wanted it to focus, which happens from time to time. This is why we try things. But you will get your pint glasses out of this in the end. It may take a day or so, but I would absolutely give that to you. All right, we're going to do a quick start on this just to make sure that everything works. So far, I haven't had any errors, so that's good. And the laser seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. All right, so that's a good sign. The laser is not broken, folks. Yay! I haven't thrown $2,500 into the trash. So yeah, that's what happens every time, once in a while. Let's see. Jeff, I missed. Are you using Lightburn? No, I'm not. I'm using the built-in We Create software. It comes with the machine, and for image processing, I'm using Inkscape and GIMP to take GIFs and turn them into something I can use first, and then do a trace bitmap in Inkscape. So, let's see. Abby asked me, what sparked your interest in doing this? Good question. So my dad was a woodworker growing up. His shop was literally right below my feet. I would hear him doing things down in the shop, cutting wood, drilling wood, all sorts of stuff. When he was about my age, maybe a little bit younger, he got a shopsmith. And if you know what a shopsmith is, you're probably dating yourself. But it was this enormous multi-tool thing that had a lathe and a bandsaw and a I don't know. I think it had a wood splitting attachment on it. I mean, it was amazing. And so I always helped him do stuff in the shop, but never really took it up myself because I moved here in 1994. And, well, in these houses, there's not much room for a shop. Today, finally, I've got room for a shop, so this is why I decided to do it. And then in terms of why, I saw these about 2 years ago. I saw the Glowforge. I was really looking at the Glowforge. And then I was just about to buy it, actually, when I saw the We Create. And I started researching that. It's a newer company. They're a little bit more hungry. They've got some cool products out there, so I decided to go with the We Create. So that's what kind of sparked my interest in doing that. Good question, Abby. Let's see. Any other questions? Looks like not. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we are going to just skip through while that's working. I'll show you what that looks like in the end, and definitely get you your stuff when we're done. So, go to the next. And that is the end of our Open Studio, folks. So, thank you, everybody, for showing up. Appreciate your time. BlazingEdgeStudios.com. Check out our website. There's the Blazing Edge shop. And the Etsy shop. I'll turn the camera a little bit so you can maybe get the QR code on your phones or wherever you're watching. And yeah, it should work. If not, just go to blazingedgestudios.com and you'll be able to see it there. So that is all we have today, folks. I appreciate everybody joining us live on Facebook. It was a great time. We'll do this again for sure. Appreciate those that are hung out. Appreciate my family who has shown up for our first Open Studio. So everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. And keep looking for our stuff online. Thanks, guys.